So hello everybody, how are you all getting on? Thank you very much for clicking on my video, I always appreciate it. Today I'm going to do a video, I'll try and keep it short, but look, I'm doing a video about a bike trailer I bought. So this is the cheapest bike trailer I could find online. There's a reason I bought the cheapest one, I'll get into it in a minute. But I bought it from a company called Vida XL. It cost me €135, which is about $134. I checked when I last checked, and that's about £117 sterling UK. So it's not expensive, okay? But I bought it from a company, as I say, called Vida XL. But I've noticed this is for sale in a lot of different places. It's on eBay, it's on Amazon. There's actually a company in America, I won't name them, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but there's a company in America that sell this very same wheel under a different brand name. So my little trailer here has a sticker on it that says made in China. So I suspect that these trailers are mass produced in China and different companies buy them and rebrand them. So that's kind of one of the reasons I bought it, because I believe I can improve this bike trailer. I can there's a couple of little modifications I'm going to do to it, and I'm definitely going to make some improvements. So I think I can turn this bike trailer into a great value for money bike trailer. Yeah, and I'll get more into that. But the last thing is, most of my channel is about e-bikes, so I actually have to modify this trailer because it will not connect to my e-bike at the moment. I have a rear hub drive motor which has a very large axle, and this won't work. So I'm going to keep that till the very end of the video, because I'd imagine most people didn't click on this video to talk about e-bikes, they want to talk about the trailer, right? If you can bear with me just for 2 minutes, if you don't want to listen to me ramble on, you can actually jump forward a little bit and you'll see me with the camera will be pointing at the bike trailer, okay? But if you are going to stick around, what I want to say is I started a YouTube channel because I was building an e-bike, and I was converting a mountain bike into an e-bike, and I came across a couple of little problems, little issues, little things like rear dropout spacing and torque arms, torque plates, that kind of thing. And I thought, look, I'll do a few videos, I'll stick them up on YouTube, and maybe someday, you know, somebody might be faced with the same dilemma that I had, and they might find my video and I might be able to help someone, or even give somebody an idea. That's all that this was meant to be. But for some reason I have 31 subscribers. So I'm really grateful. I mean, I didn't do this channel thinking that people would subscribe. I did this channel just, as I said, to put up videos to help people if they needed help, or, you know, if maybe, anyway, that's what I was doing. So I've ended up with 31 subscribers, so that's prompted me to do this video. Now normally what I would do is I'd just buy this bike trailer and I'd do the modifications and I'd improve it and I'd use it and I'd be very happy, but I just kind of do it on my own here in the workshop. So it's great to be able to share it with people. So like, if even a handful of people watch this that are thinking of buying the trailer, and they think, yeah, look, you know, whatever, they found the video useful, then that's great, and I feel like I'm sharing something with you. So yeah, I'm going to shut up about that now. So I'm going to give you a look at the bike trailer. Thanks very much to the 31 subscribers. So this is the trailer that I bought. It's a single wheel cargo trailer. It comes with this bag. It seems to come with a red or a blue bag. So I'll start with the bag, right? So this bag, online they say it's waterproof. Now, I don't think it's waterproof, right? But it's made with waterproof material, but there's a couple of issues with it. So number one, if this flap lifts and the rain gets under here, the water's going to go through that zip, and you'll be surprised how much water will get through that zip. And also, any of these seams down here, down the side of the bag, none of those seams are taped. So if you're carrying material around in this, it's going to wick through into the material. I reckon that if you have a bad enough shower, whatever you have inside in this bag will be soaked. But look, if you're using this bag for groceries or just a little bit of shopping, it'll be perfect. If you just want to use it to carry stuff around, it comes with these little Velcro straps. There's a couple of them all around. They lock onto the bike and they keep it in place. So yeah, it's a good little bag, but for me, it's out. I'm not going to use it. As I said in an earlier video, I'm going bike packing, so I'm going camping. I'll be carrying camping gear. I'm just going to put the camping gear in there. So look, I'm going to remove the bag for the purpose of this video. I won't be using it. I'll keep it, may use it in the future. I'm going to put all of my gear into the trailer itself. The second thing that I'm going to removing is these handles. So the idea of these is that they spin around like this, okay, and they lock into place. There's a little pin here. They lock into place. I'll just spin the other one for you. So when you spin them around, they lock into place, and it now means you can use this trailer, they call it a trolley, but like a little wheelbarrow. So it might be handy for some people if you're going gathering stuff and you want to load it into the trailer. But for me, again, I'm never going to remove my... I'm not going to be removing this from the bike. I'm going to be using it as a trailer. Wherever the bike can go, the trailer's going. So I can't see myself removing it and using it as a trolley. So for me, I'm getting rid of these. Right? So they're both gone. Now, one of the things you're doing here is I'm making this much quieter when it rides behind me. Those handles actually rattle around quite a bit. And another thing that rattles quite a lot is that kickstand. Okay, so the kickstand is here. It's a little stand that the trailer's on. As I said before, it's either always going to be connected to my bike, or I'm going to be disconnecting it and I'm going to be hanging it up here in my workshop. So I'm removing it, okay? Now I've already removed it. I used the Dremel, I cut it off. What I will say to you, word of warning, if you go cutting pieces like this off, you've probably invalidated your warranty. I don't really mind. So I have already removed it, so I'm just going to pull it off. So I cut it off with a little Dremel tool. So that's gone. So what I'm doing here is I'm just turning it into a functional trailer. Because as I said, I'm using it for bike packing. I don't need it to do anything else. The other little issue that this trailer had is, and I've fixed it here, is this, if you can see, I hope you can see this connection here. So I've put an Allen bolt and 2 little wing nuts in here. This did come with this tiny little start clip that was dangling, and when you'd be riding along it would rattle, and it was like a bell. It was like riding the bike with a bell attached. So I removed that, okay, I got rid of it. As I said, I just put in an Allen key and 2 wing nuts. So now when I ride with this trailer on now, it's really, really quiet, okay? I'm going to get onto the back wheel, and the back wheel was disappointing. I'd love to show you kind of what I found, but I'll bring the back wheel in focus here. I'd love to show you what I found, but I'm not really any good at editing these videos, so I'm just going to remove the wheel there, and I'll show you kind of what I've done, okay? Right, so I'm going to give you a look at the rear wheel now in a second, right? I suppose I shouldn't have said that it was disappointing. I did find some problems with the rear wheel, but I should have said it was expected. So I kind of expected to find these little issues with this rear wheel, and that was one of the reasons why I bought it. I knew that I could fix this rear wheel, I could improve it, and I could make this little trailer really good value for money, because what I have now is I'll have a really good back wheel. I feel that I have a solid frame and I have it connected to my bike correctly, so there's no reason why this bike trailer won't perform every bit as good as something twice the price. Before I get onto the back wheel, I want to talk a bit about the frame though, right? Because I'm not a metal fabricator, so I have absolutely no business in zooming in on the frame here and showing you the welding and saying, oh, the welding looks good here and it doesn't look so good here, because you know, that's not right. I don't know. I don't need the welding to be pretty on this. I don't need to look at the welding and see really nice pretty welding. I need the welding to be fit for purpose, and I'm not a welder, so I can't look and say whether it's done well or not done well. So I'm not going to do it. But what I can do to improve this is, the manufacturer here says that this bike trailer can take a maximum load of 40 kgs. Now I know that means they have tested this to 50 kgs, possibly even 60, filled it up and trashed it as hard as they could to find the failure points. So if the manufacturer says, if they've tested it to 50 kgs and found that it absolutely was fine and held at 50, they're giving themselves a safety buffer of 40, they're 10 kgs. So they're saying, we'll tell the public that max is 40 kgs, and then we know it isn't going to fall apart if they go over it a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down to 30 kgs. So I'm never going to put more than 30 kgs into this trailer. And then that's a huge improvement on this trailer. So if I do that, there's no reason why this trailer shouldn't last, I mean, as long as it can last. It is, I'd imagine it's not the most expensive metal, but if I keep it at 30 kgs, I improve the rear wheel, I hitch it up to my bike correctly, and I look after it. I make sure, one of the things I'll be watching for this bike is that there's no scratches. I'd imagine this will rust very quickly if you allow it to get scratched, so I'll keep an eye on it. I'll dry it off, I'll keep it here in my workshop. It should last. It should last a long time. It's not something I'd leave out in the weather. It's not something I'd be dragging around outside on the concrete. I wouldn't be throwing it up against the side of the house. You know, it's going to live indoors, and yeah. So that's kind of the reason I bought it. So I'm going to get onto the wheel. So when I said that the wheel was disappointing, what I meant was, so when I dismantled this wheel, I took off the tyre, and the first thing I looked at was rim tape. So if you don't know, so inside here, this is a single wall. So the spokes on this are just in the actual tube is sitting on top of the spokes. So what they do is they put in a rim tape, right? And it's like a rubber ring that goes around. But the rim tape that they used in this was absolutely horrendous. I don't think I've came across anything as light. I mean, you could have just it was like nylon. I don't know. That's what they decided to use. So I kind of guessed at the beginning that the manufacturer will save money wherever they can, and one of the biggest savings they can make is on the wheels. So for every trailer there's a wheel, and if they make thousands of these, so the rim tape was something that they did go cheap on. So all I done was I put 2 rounds of tubeless tape around the rim. You can use electrical tape, it's fine, but it just strengthens it. It stops the inner tube getting punctured. Now the inner tube is absolute rubbish as well. I'm going to keep it until it blows up. But do you ever find one of those inner tubes in a bike that they don't get punctured, they actually split? So I can't show you the inner tube now, but it's absolutely just going to split. I'm going to find it'll go flat someday, and yeah, and I think this inner tube is just going to split down one of the seams. So very poor quality. So I'm carrying around a spare inner tube with me. I'm a bit mean. I'm going to keep this thing for as long as I can. I'm carrying around a spare inner tube that I've put tyre slime into, and that's going in here. The tyre, again, they've saved money on the tyre. You can't blame them. I'm not criticising them in any way, shape or form, right? This is a no-name tyre, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a branded tyre. I'll get them very cheap. I mean, this is child size. So I'll get a tyre for very cheap, but I'm going to try and get something a little wider. This is 175, and I'm going to run it at lower pressures so that my trailer isn't bouncing around so much when it's following behind me, right? So they saved on this. But what did worry me, what is a concern, is that when I took this off, so if you know about cup and cone bearings, right? So they come with this lock nut here, and this bit inside here then is a cone, right? So I won't show you actually. You hold the cone spanner holds the inside, and then the lock nut tighten it. These were only hand tight, so that was a bit I just felt funny about that, you know. It's like they cut the cone, they just hand tightened it and then ship it out to the customer, and so be it. All that's going to happen there is it's going to loosen. So it's going to loosen, the tyre's going to start wobbling, water's going to get in, it's going to wash out the grease, and the bearings are going to they'll be shot after a while, so it wasn't going to last very long that way. So what I done was I disassembled the whole thing, and I changed the bearings. Right now, if you know about bearings, right, bearings are graded. I think they go from 3 to 2000. It might be 3000. I don't know, but we'll say 3 to 2000. That's the grade. That's how. And the lower the number, the better the grade. So a standard bearing in bicycles is a G25, okay? So they use G30s, G20s, but G25 is a standard bearing. I was pretty certain that they weren't putting G25s into this. So if they're going to save money, this thing has 9 bearings on each side, so that's 18 bearings. If every single one of their thousands of wheels has 18 bearings, and they can save money by cheaping on the bearings, then they will. The other thing then is the grease, probably mass produced, probably like comes in a big, I don't know what, but they would be putting the cheapest grease possible. So I've replaced these bearings with G25, okay, and I've replaced this grease with good bike grease that I got in the shop. Now you can do the same. If you take out one of these bearings and walk into your local bike shop, show them the bearing and tell them you need 18 of those, and can you have a little bit of grease? They'll give you a tiny little tube of grease, and you can redo these bearings. Now I know not everyone is happy to go at cup and cone system. There's loads of videos on YouTube. Just to look up RJ the Bike Guy or one of these legends, and they'll show you how to adjust your cup and cone bearings. It's definitely worth doing. When I ran this wheel the first time, when I caught it in my hand like this and you spin it, right? What you do is you spin it and you hold it, and if it feels notchy, which mine did, it feels like there's a tiny little just notchy is the only word I can explain. If it feels notchy, then you've got a problem. So mine at the moment now, when it runs, it's butter smooth. Okay, so that is a huge improvement in this little wheel, and it's gonna last a long time. There's no reason for it not to. I will keep an eye on it. I will keep an eye just to make sure that there's never any play in it. The important thing to remember is, if you look at the size of this, now those of you out there that are good with maths can figure this one out for me. I have a 29-inch wheel, so for every time that 29-inch wheel rotates once, I don't know, does this thing go around 4 or 5 times? So it's going 4 or 5 times faster. So if I'm travelling, tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm travelling at 30 kilometres an hour, this little wheel is travelling at, I don't know, 60, 90 kilometres an hour, is it? 90? Really? Anyway, yeah, so this little thing is doing a lot of work. So replacing these bearings, replacing the grease, checking that it's preload, the preload on the cone is right, and checking that it's running smooth, it's going to be worth your while, in my opinion. Okay, so that brings me to the next part of the video. I'm going to show you what I did to get this trailer to connect to my e-bike. But I have to say one more thing. So as I said, this bike trailer is made by a lot of different companies. There's loads of ways of connecting it to your bike. In fact, if you want to know how to connect it to your bike, there's a YouTube channel called Maya, and they have a very, very similar trailer to this one. And it has the exact same connections for fitting it to your bike. So if you've got a quick release rear wheel, or you've got like a solid axle rear wheel, go onto that site and they'll show you exactly how to connect it to your bike. Okay, what I'm going to be showing you is how I modified it. But my word of warning, and I know I'm gone on a bit now. I'm looking at the time. I'm nearly talking 10 minutes. I've also seen that it seems that the manufacturer of these also make different types of trailers. They make 2-wheel trailers, they make a couple of different types. But I've seen that they make trailers for carrying children. Okay, I would not recommend this. I can't have it on my conscience to say to you that this bike trailer, if you find the same one, that it's going to be suitable for kids. If I was going to be putting children into a bike trailer, I'd be spending a lot more than what these trailers are being sold for. That's all I'll say. I don't want to be... Yeah, look, I think you all know what I'm talking about. So that's it. I don't think I've anything else to say. Only thanks very much for clicking on my video. And 31 people that subscribed, you're amazing. You've made me do this video again today. So I've really enjoyed sharing what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump on now and show you the modification for my e-bike. Thank you very much. So this is how I've got this trailer to connect to my rear hub motor e-bike. So on these rear hub motors, you have a very large axle here. So that's it. Look, you can see what I've done. I've had to file this opening. I've had to open this a little bit. It pushes on. It sits like that. And if you notice, the axle is still proud of the hitch. So I'll zoom you in so you can see that. Look. So there's still a good bit of room there. Okay. I've drilled a hole here. I have a nut coming through. And I've used a torque arm. So a lot of you that are in the e-biking hub motors know what these are. These are torque arms. So this is how I set it up. I've put one on each side, and all I'm going to do is I attach it on here, push this through, and I have a little wing nut. The wing nut tightens on, and it locks it into place. So as you can see, that's pretty solid. It's covering the axle. The trailer can't come off anymore. It's hooked into place. And yeah, that's it. That's all I've done. That's how I'm doing it, one each side. And away I go. I'll let you know if I have any problems, but I don't think I will. Thanks very much. See you later.